Welcome back to the YouTube channel. You are 37 and you are stuck in your mother's basement. Yes, you are 39 or 41 and you are still using shared accommodation and you are thinking you are a failure. No. Let me explain to you the greatest challenge we are facing in 2026 or in the 21st century, especially when you are a millennial. The challenge of affordability crisis. Let me repeat, the challenge of affordability crisis. Those of you who are digital nomads, those of you who are digital natives, let me explain to you what life used to be before we came to the digital space. Yes, back in the days, in my time, because I'm a millennial and I'm speaking on behalf of millennials, feel free to express your opinion in a comment section if you disagree. Back in the days, when you wanted to date a girl, we never had dating apps. We never had Match. We never had Hinge. We didn't swipe. No, we had to date girls whom we went to school with, girls in the next neighborhoods, girls in the next house or in the next street. Yes, and everybody in the village had the powers to discipline a child. Yes, you heard me right. Let me repeat. If you messed up in your in your behaviors, your neighbors had the power to discipline you, unlike today. If we wanted to go to church, we went to the local church. If we wanted to play football, we played for a local team. So like community was everything. Everything mattered. Like the community was very important and we are very solid and we loved one another more than ever before by then. If you wanted to make a phone call, what happened? There is these phones which used to be around. You will go and press the number, bam, 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 bam. Grab the handle. Hello, Mr. Smith. How are you? It depends, whatever you wanted to say. And if you wanted to express your feelings, your love, we never typed. We wrote letters. We put in envelopes. We used post office as a media of communication. So that was kind of life by then. And the greatest gadget of the time was Motorola, was Nokia 3310. And this is probably early 2000s, after like the turn of a century. So, guys, that was my time. And before the digital space occupied our planet. So we lived like that. And our generation is called, the millennials are called the customer service generation. We want to please everybody. We feel we have an obligation to fulfill. Um, we had to go to school, get student loans, make sure we are educated, and pay back into the system which the system raised us. And unfortunately, we are facing the greatest challenge of our lifetime. And this challenge is a challenge of affordability crisis. Back in the days, one person could work and support the entire six people in the family. We never had, as you are, you like right now as you are watching me, I guarantee you have a second job. You have a second gig. Like you have your normal job Monday to Friday, but again on a weekend, because you want to supplement your budgets, because you want to earn more money, you have to go and do something on the side. Back in the days, our fathers, our mothers worked one job, and that job was enough to cater for everybody in the house. And as millennials, I think we are facing a challenge of negative capitalism, especially in the United States and in Canada or England, mostly in advanced world. Not in every advanced world. Some countries have very good systems and they can regulate the negative capitalism I mentioned earlier. So let me break it down if you don't understand what negative capitalism means. Negative capitalism mean if you work for SpaceX, if you work for Microsoft or Google, or you work for these gigantic companies, the CEOs of these companies and the owners of these companies are becoming trillionaires. And you, as a person working for them, you are struggling to afford your mortgage. You are struggling to look after your children. So that is what I call negative capitalism. Like in recent time, we have seen a large number of wealth getting into concentrating into fewer hands. So that's what I mean when I mean negative capitalism. Guys, in recent time, I have also seen a lot of people using immigrants as a scapegoat for their financial failures. I know this could be controversial and you have a right to disagree. I'll reply to you when you comment in the comment section. Guys, most of the time when the governments, I don't care, left, right, in between, whatever government is in power, they choose to bring people into the country. It is because they have looked on the statistics and they project in the next 10 to 20 years, we're going to have a lot of people retiring. And when people retire, they need pension. So they need a young group of people working to pay the retirees. So in most scenarios, they look to import. Sometimes you cannot manufacture people. People don't like phones or fridges or electronics. You cannot manufacture them. So sometimes they think, okay, let's go to a country which has got too much people and bring them skillful people, and then we cover up the gap. But guys, let me tell you something. The reason why people don't want to have more children here is not because they don't have the desire. No, people have the desire. But to have a family in America or in Canada, it is extremely expensive. The child care, the needs. Remember when mama gives birth, she won't work. She will have a lot of time looking after the children. So, and in most scenarios, we need two checks to survive. We are not living in the 90s that one person can basically look after the entire family because of their high cost of living. We can't survive on a single salary. So it means people won't have time to raise children. Who's like these children are the people who are supposed to look after the people who are going to retire. That's why the people end up, the governments or people in charge end up like, okay, we'll go to another place and then bring in people. So you see people complaining, but they don't take a deep study. They don't look critical at the issue. I'm not blaming them. They have all the rights to do whatever they're doing. But the truth is, the affordability crisis is leading to this immigration issue because people feel they can't they can't afford to have children, and because they cannot afford to have children, we need people to pay the tax when you guys retire or when I retire. I've worked in some nursing homes and I've seen some senior citizens, they have to struggle even when having a good job. They had a good job, they had a fantastic career, but they need a lot of money from their insurance companies to make sure that they can afford nursing home. I'm telling you, I've seen these folks crying like they can't afford a decent nursing home. So the greatest challenge we face as millennials is not the pandemic we faced recently, is not the threat of war as we see them in the news right now, but the affordability crisis. The affordability crisis is a very big issue. It is turning us apart. It is burning us out. You see, our generation is called they call it what? They call it the customer service generation, the generation that want to please everybody, the generation that went ahead and got student loans, and we went to school to study garbage degrees. I'm sorry to say garbage degrees. I have a lot of friends, including myself, that will go and study to become a procurement officer. You will go to study to become a social worker, or you'll go to study to become a financing manager, only to learn that when you finish studying, this skill is not too much in demand in big cities like Toronto, like New York City, or San Francisco. You realize that you need another special skill. So you end up going back to study to become a registered nurse. You end up to go back to study to become electrician, or to become a plumber, and you're not studying for free. You are getting student loans, and after getting those student loans, then you have to pay for it. After paying the student loan, then you have to save down payment for the house. We all know that when you get married, the most important purchase you can make is to buy a house. You heard me right. But buying a house, people think maybe it's not even worth it because the interest rates are very, very high. The affordability, the taxes, like to own something is almost impossible. I'm not saying it is not possible. It is, but it stretches your arms. Like it really, really stretches you. You must be solid. You must be very, very mentally strong to deal with the financial needs of the 21st century. I know you are watching. I know maybe you are the one who is stuck under your mother's basement, or you are the one who's almost 40 and you are still in shared accommodation. In recent times, I've seen a lot of videos that people have to go to a place where the dollar is stronger and they can live a decent life in the places where, like, none of us want to go and live in a place which is not home. But if you cannot afford your home, then you are left with no choice. You have to go to a place where you feel you can afford. So our greatest challenge is the affordability crisis. Guys, if you think I'm joking, you've seen a lot of controversial politicians. I don't want to mention names, but guys, did you know that a lot of people voted President Trump for the second time because he preached the gospel of affordability? And the same thing happened to the new mayor of New York, Mam Dan. Mam Dan was not the most qualified candidate to lead New York, but he focused on the gospel of affordability of New York, regardless how the other groups were very powerful. They were very, very energetic when it comes to financial muscles, but still he defeated them because the challenge of affordability is extremely common among millennials. They can say whatever they have to say, but it seems like we have a social contract. We have to prove to a point, and we have to prove to a system which is taking too much from us and it giving us less. Guys, let me know what you think. But for me, when I go back 25 years ago, 15 years ago, or 20, like 30 years ago, I think life was better because people were able to buy properties. People were able to look after their children. People were able to make babies without fear of child care costs. Yes, you heard me right. I know a lot of people, they want to have families, but they can't. They say, if we have a baby, how are we going to manage? They rather have a pet which is a little bit, because a pet, you can leave it somewhere and go, but you can't leave a baby here. No, if you are staying in the West, you have to put the child in a child care center, something like that. So the system is very, very, very expensive to maintain. Yes, guys, that is. I watched the news yesterday and I saw 88% of Americans abandon their 2026 resolutions. And reason why they abandon it, because of financial burnout. They feel they are economically down. They are in debts with credit cards, student loans, especially the millennials. They feel they are being pushed to the wall. The rich are getting more rich. A lot of wealth are going into fewer hands. So I challenge the leaderships. I challenge the young people to come up with solutions to overcome negative capitalism. And I'm not advocating for socialism. No, 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 no. Because socialism has never worked. I really like capitalism, but we need to regulate it. So, guys, let me know what you think about the affordability crisis in 2026, and what is something that is on your mind. What do you want me to share on this channel? Which kind of topic? I'm eager for constructive criticism. Go ahead, say whatever you want to say in the comment section. Otherwise, if you watched towards the end, thank you so much. You are the unsung hero of this channel. Share the video, like, comment, help me grow on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video. But again, my last message to the millennials: no matter how difficult it is, don't give up. Persistence wears out resistance. Let's go back to the basics. Let's go back. Let's go into nature, go to the ocean, breathe the water, breathe the air in the forest. Maybe you're gonna cut down the carbon dioxide of, I called it one, negative capitalism. Yes, I see you in the next video. You are the best. Goodbye. Thank you. See you in the next.